So I've heard the term gut health, and I kind of loosely understand it, but what exactly is gut health? Because, I don't know.
It's a term that's being used more and more, and
Yeah.
often we don't actually know what gut health means. Gut health is about the ability of the gut to do its job, in simple terms. But I guess the question is, what is the gut?
Yeah, what's the gut?
Yeah, so often we think about the stomach, and the stomach's a really small, very important part of the gut, but the gut is so much bigger than that. And we'll talk later about digestion, which actually starts at the mouth. The gut's over 30 metres long, and so it has a role to play along each stage. When we have great gut health, each stage is doing what it has to do. When we have poor gut health, it's compromised. So the role of the gut it's really three things. Firstly, it's about digesting food, really important thing to do. And again, it's important that each stage can do what it has to do. So that's the first one. The second thing it does, it's actually a huge immune organ. So that 30 metres is a continual sort of tract, and it keeps bad things out and good things in. So when the gut's not working well, pathogens and toxins can get through, and then you get this inflammatory response. So the gut's a bit like a castle and a moat. It keeps bad things out, good things in. And the third thing it does, it houses the trillions of these microorganisms that we call microbiota. It's a big fancy word that means things like bacteria and yeast and fungi. And to be honest, we don't know a lot about all the other organisms. We know a little bit about the bacteria, but what we do know is this microbiota is responsible for so much. I mean, even down to the point that horses actually can't digest fibre, but the microorganisms can. So it's so exciting.
Yeah, that's
so
incredible.
it is really incredible.
Yeah.
So if we know the microbiota are that important, we want to have the right type.
Yeah.
And we want lots of good helpers, lots of variety. So a gut that is healthy does those three things really well. And when a gut is unhealthy, everything's compromised. And then it shows up as things like, anxious behaviour, loose manure, poor hoof condition, colic, laminitis. It just goes on and on. So the gut is not just the stomach, it is much bigger than that. And it continues all the way through the horse. And in fact, the point of the large colon sits where the girth area is. That's how big it is.
Yeah.
In fact, it's almost bigger than half an Olympic pool, swimming pool.
Wow.
So you think about that inside your horse's gut.
That's
It
huge.
is, it's really huge.
That's
and
huge.
and this is where I get really passionate about it, because if that gut's inflamed,
Yeah.
it can show up as pain.
Yeah.
How do horses show us they're in pain? They take on behavioural problems.
That's right.
And often we go, they're just being this or they're just being that. Well, actually, they could be in pain.
Yeah.
So fix the gut first, and then everything is on top of that. So training becomes easier. Teaching them new, skills or dressage movements becomes easier if the gut is healthy. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm in back pain, I'm not a happy person, and the world's just a harder place. So if our horses have an inflamed gut, that can also be one of their side effects. They're in pain.
Yeah. Wow. So we're going to break down a little bit more about the function of each part and how we can actually help improve our horse's gut health.
Absolutely. And understanding that is so important, because then it impacts on how we feed, the way we feed, how we manage everything. We could talk for hours.
I think we probably will. Okay.